Hello everyone. So this is not Cheshire today, this is Port Sunlight on the Wirral Peninsula, and I'm doing a few videos about days out from Cheshire. And the reason is, growing up in Cheshire, one of the biggest memories I have is all the times that I left Cheshire and went somewhere else. On this channel previously I've done a video where I went to Llandudno. It's that sort of distance away, a maximum of 2 hours from somewhere in Cheshire. Essentially, you wake up early in the morning, you get out your house by 8 AM, you arrive at the place by 10 AM, which is when most places tend to be open by, galleries, museums, and other sort of attractions around the world. And then you stay here for 7 or 8 hours, and you're back home in time for a late tea at 7 or 8 o'clock. That is the general sort of gist of the times that I'm going for. This is not that far away from Chester. I'll put it on screen because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. And I'm going to just do a little wander around and show you the museums and the art galleries they have going on. Behind me, just over there, is the Port Sunlight Museum, which is a bit about the history of Port Sunlight. I've not been in yet. It's only just turned 10 AM when everything opens. I've been wandering through. So you get off the train at Port Sunlight Station, or at least I did today. You can drive here obviously, and immediately you step out and it's wall to wall gorgeous buildings. All of the houses were custom made by Lord Lever when he had the soap factory running here, and there's loads of gorgeous buildings. I don't know what they all are. They all tend to have some sort of signage on them, so if you come you can have a look. There's a number of different wonderful open spaces. It does kind of suffer from the Knutsford Tatton Hall problem of there being planes flying over, but it's nowhere near as bad, as they're not right at the end of the runway. It's Liverpool Airport as well, which I think is slightly quieter. It only has the one terminal at Liverpool Airport, and Manchester has 3, so less frequent flying going on. Museum behind me, also museum that way. I'll show you now, one second. When I say museum, I mean art gallery, of course, the Lever Gallery, and there is also a soap work. So that's 3 attractions, and pretty much everywhere you walk around Port Sunlight is gorgeous. I love autumn, so where I have been so far is the garden centre, because in the garden centre there's always autumnal things to look at. And yeah, I'll catch up with you after I've been in all of the places, and I'll tell you what they're all about, and then that'll be it really. A nice little quick sharp visit, a day out in Port Sunlight. Okay, so I have just been into the Lady Lever Art Gallery and the Port Sunlight Museum, and they were both very interesting. I've been in the art gallery first, so I'll talk about that first. I like history more than I like art. I do like looking at nice things, but I feel like I learn more about history than I do about art, if that makes sense. The art gallery is free entry with a suggested donation of £5, so not a bad start to the listings of things to do. And then the Port Sunlight Museum is £8 entry for an adult, and it's only very small, but it's all very condensed in. It's a very small condensed museum with lots and lots of information. There's a 20-minute video that plays that I sat and watched the whole thing through, and that's not something I normally do. Normally I just kind of glance around museums and, but I was there for at least half an hour because I took 10 minutes glancing at everything else and 20 minutes watching a video from start to finish. And I learned a lot about Port Sunlight that I didn't know. So what I did know when I got here was that Lord Lever built this entire town to house the workers for his factory, and that these were a very good level of house, but I didn't know how good they were in comparison to the rest of the country. All these houses were plumbed in, which is not something that a lot of workers' housing had. They had like an outdoor toilet that was shared by multiple families, but every house here was plumbed in completely. The local pub was dry originally, but Lord Lever did a poll to see how many of the residents, and that's men and women, so this was when women didn't have a chance to vote in elections, they were given an equal footing in votes in this town. He was extremely left for the time in his politics. I'm not really a politics-minded person, but he was very left-leaning, and not everything he did was great. I'm not saying that he was perfect. This was the Victorian era where they did a lot of very bad things colonially, but closer to home for the English worker it was great in comparison to a lot of other places they could have worked. Okay, so I'm actually in Mayor Park now in Bevington, and I realised I didn't really tell you much about the Lady Lever Art Gallery. So it's called the Lady Lever Art Gallery in dedication to Lord Lever's late wife when he built it. This is a concept that my girlfriend really likes the idea of, by the way, that really rich men love their wife so much that they are inconsolable when they die, and they build these giant monuments to them. So there's the Lady Lever Art Gallery is a good example, and it's my favourite example because it's actually useful as an educational tool for the people that lived in Port Sunlight then, and for people of the modern generation 100 years later. There's another example in Lancaster, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but it's on top of a big hill towering over the city of Lancaster, and it is another very rich lord's dedication to his late wife. And I think it's just the romance of it, the fact that no amount of wealth out of pocket would be enough to really make up for the fact that, you know, the loved one has passed away. Enduring grief, enduring long past the man himself has passed away as well. You can learn a lot about art and culture in there, modern art as well. They've got galleries, they update them from time to time, and you can also learn about Lord Leverhulme's, one of his heroes, let's say, in Napoleon Bonaparte, the man that lost the Battle of Waterloo, etc., etc. Lord Lever, being left-leaning, really liked all of the sort of things that Napoleon did for his countrymen. I didn't go to the soapworks. Kind of towing a line here between doing things because I want to and doing things because I think it will go well in a video, and spending money on things that I just think will go well in a video isn't really in my budget right now. So I didn't want to learn about soap making. I was interested in the history, which I've got from the Port Sunlight Museum. You know, I've got what I came for, and I'm just telling you what you can come here for now. So I've just finished my little trip to Bebington, and the two places that I went to in Bebington were, the first was a little coffee shop called Kraken Comics. So it's a lovely little place that opened in June, so I didn't even know it existed. Just down the street from it is a board game cafe called Bulwark Games, which again is delightful. I spent money in both of those places. I'm just wandering back to the train station now in Port Sunlight, and I figured I'd just do a little finish to the video. So this has been a day out from Cheshire in Port Sunlight and Bebington. Keep on questing. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, etc., etc.